foolish, stupid, and sometimes, you think it's love. If a man loves a woman, it don't hurt. It don't hurt physically, mentally, spiritually. It does not hurt. Don't love me to death. Welcome back to another episode of Teacup Talks podcast, and I'm your host, Telisha Marie. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on that post notification bell so you'll know every time I post because it's real and raw over here. Okay? Now let's get into the video. Today, what I want to talk about is we're going to jump right into this. I want to talk about what's been going on in my surrounding area, basically all over the world. Like, it's been a lot of killings. The domestic violence is just crazy. So I want to kind of touch on that a little bit because some of it is fresh. Some things has recently happened, and I just want to speak on it. There was this woman that went live. She went live on Facebook, and she ended up killing her husband on Facebook Live. And that's been a big thing, like lately. Like, it's just getting worse and worse. Like, they were on Facebook Live arguing. How I saw it was a Facebook friend of mine had shared a post, but me being me, like others, you see a little drama, you gonna click on it. So I'm thinking it's probably just an argument. She caught him cheating, or whatever the case may be, and they were just arguing, or whatever. So I click on it, and she had tagged him and was saying that he was bisexual, and so that's what kind of intrigued me to keep going. And then that's when I saw that there was a live video um, that she had off her husband. And they were on there arguing back and forth. Well, he wasn't really arguing. I'm gonna say that, clear that up. He was trying to de-escalate the situation. He was trying to leave. Like, no matter if he was cheating, bisexual, whatever the rumors are, I don't know. I didn't dig that deep into it because regardless of what it wasn't worth somebody losing their life. But that was the thing. She was, making a few posts saying that I guess he's supposed to be bisexual, and people were saying that he was with a man. But from what I saw, it was a woman. From the text messages someone posted, she had actually found out he was dealing with a woman on the job or whatever. So I don't know if it was on his job or just I don't know. But the thing is, the what it all boils down to is domestic violence. Like, walk away. It is not worth somebody losing their life. It's not worth you going to jail. Like, just think about it. You kill a man or a woman because you found out they were cheating, they wanted to leave you, or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, once you off that person, you going to jail. So that person's not gonna be with nobody. You're not gonna be with nobody. Well, you probably can be with somebody in jail, but it's not gonna be the same as living freely and being able to do what you want to do. So, like, for me, I've been in domestic situations, domestic violence situations, with a couple of past partners, and it's just like, it's not worth it. It's the arguing. Eventually, you keep arguing. It's just little things at first, and then it escalates and escalates and escalates. And then it can turn into something major where you start putting hands on each other. And I have been in that situation where an ex and we've took it that far, and I was younger, much younger. Like, I didn't really think of it that way, but you fight, you get into it, and then boom, you're back together. Um, So the arguments escalate to something bigger. You start putting your hands on each other. And if the arguments are over things like jealousy or, just the small things like something what you wearing, thinking that you got a man or woman on the job, or thinking that you cheat and don't want you to go out the house looking a certain way, pay attention. Pay attention to the signs. Like it's not worth it. And just pay attention to the signs. If it's little things that gets them so mad, angry to where they want to put their hands on you for just something small as what you're wearing, or because somebody said hey to you, or whatever the case may be, pay attention to the signs. I will say that. Um, because you just, if it's things like that, and of course it's going to escalate, no doubt about it. The it's going to get worse and worse, especially if you just tolerate it and just keep going back. It can get worse in certain situations. um it didn't happen often in my situations, but it happened. And um, you should never allow a man or woman to put hands on you. Like, it's just not, that's not love. That's not what love feels like. That's not what love looks like, you know, when your partner loves you. And I'm saying man because I'm a woman, and that's my preference, men. So, but it goes both ways. Like, you just don't put up with it. And if you're the aggressor, leave. Leave. Just look at other situations and think about the situations they were in, and think about how you could lose your life. You may be the aggressor, but your partner may get fed up, scared, eventually get a gun, and you're gone. You're no longer in the land of the living. So it can go both ways. Like, the aggressor or the victim, either or, can lose a life, and end both lose their lives, because somebody gonna end up in jail, somebody gonna end up 6 feet under, or whatever. But it's not worth it for me. I wouldn't dare tolerate that now. Like, I know my worth. Like, you know your worth then, but when you're young, it's it's kind of harder. I don't know. It's just like you're so in love and you're still experiencing life. You're still, learning uh, how to be treated, what's love. So sometimes you may grow up around people that you've seen being abused, and you may think that's love because you may have seen them, continue to be with that person, although that person abused them, talked bad to them, did all these things to them, and you saw this and you never saw that person leave. So you may think, hey, that must be love. She stayed or he stayed. So, so it can happen that way too. But as you get older, we have to take accountability um, for our own actions. And we gotta, once you're growing up and you're maturing, regardless if it was taught to you, you still, as you grow, you learn to know what's the difference between love and manipulation, a narcissist. Um, you eventually learn, because eventually you'll maybe meet people on the job. Uh, you may meet family, or what, see family that has been treated how you like. Wait a minute, her man or her woman don't hit on her. Her man or her woman don't cheat on her. They don't have major issues. Like, look at, and you can learn from that. And then you have to love yourself first. Love yourself. You got to learn to love yourself. You got to learn about yourself. And sometimes if you're in the worst situation or not a good situation with your partner, leave. Leave if you can. I know sometimes if you're already in an abusive relationship, then it's harder to leave. So I can't just say leave, but try to reach out to their resources for you, to try and reach out to family. But if you're in that early stages and you can leave, you better get OUT. You better get OUT. I'm trying to tell you, because it's only going to get worse. And it's just crazy how people can let their emotions get the best of them like that, to where once you do that, once you know, kill your spouse, husband, girlfriend, whatever they call sneaky links these days, whatever the case may be, you're gonna wake up that next day or two in a jail cell, first of all, and you're gonna be thinking like, damn. I know a lot of people that probably have been in that situation and now are behind bars. I bet you they went back. I bet they could, they wish that they could go back and change the hands of time. I guarantee majority. Now if you don't, now you might got some that still like, yeah, I don't care, I'm glad I did it. They just bat crazy. But I guarantee you majority of these people that have taken a life because they were jealous, couldn't accept that the other person wanted to leave, I guarantee you that they are regretting it now and wish they could go back and change things. I'm pretty sure. And that's why sometimes, even though you're in the moment, the heat of the moment, you have got to just take a step back, walk away, leave the house, get on the phone, call somebody that person that can calm you down, like, because I'm telling you, it's not gonna end up well. It's not gonna end up well. And I love my freedom. So you'll never catch me putting my hands on a man, and I would never allow a man to put his hands on me. And if he ever try, then I'm leaving. Oh, you want to fight? We can't talk it out. We can't, what I'm saying? We can't work this out without being physical with each other. We can't just, sit down and have a talk and see where we went wrong and go from there. You gotta put your hands on me. You can't just let me leave. I can't just let you leave. Like, we can't just leave each other alone. You want to lose your freedom or your life over that? That's crazy to me. It's like crazy. So right now, I'm single. So every time I see something like this, it's like scary. It's scary to the point where, dang, do I want to meet somebody new? Do I just go back to an ex that I knowingly didn't have these type of problems with, just other little minor things? Maybe I should just go back to ex somebody that I know, or know of, and versus meeting someone new. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I don't be knowing what to do sometimes, because it's been 8 months or longer since I just really been in a relationship. And I really say longer than 8 months, because I was in a relationship, but it didn't get serious. Like, it wasn't, didn't get to that point of seriousness. So I wouldn't even say, I would say it's been longer than that, over a year for me. So, but me now wanting to get back out and start dating again, and trying to find my person or whatever, I'm just like nervous. Any little thing just set my radar off, and it might not even be something, but I say it's better safe than sorry. So I don't know, but I wouldn't put myself in another situation to be with a man, allow him to hit on me, call me out my name, you know, try to just tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? Be like a daddy instead of my man. You want to be my daddy. You want to tell me what to do. Tell me how to dress. You know, just all this verbal abuse as well. And there are many different kinds of abuse. You got the physical, you got the mental, you got the verbal, you got the emotional abuse. I mean, all of this like plays a role. So sometimes a person may not be putting their hands on you, and they could just always dog you, talk down on you. That's abuse too. Like, you don't want that either, because eventually your self-esteem may be up here, and then it's just gonna be trickling down, trickling down. And so they just stomping you to the ground. Like I said, love does not hurt. Love does not make you feel sad. Love does not belittle you. Love does not do any of that. Love is supposed to be love, exactly the meaning. You see how it flows? Love. Like it's supposed to be uplifting, happy. I mean, you're not gonna always have good moments. No relationship is perfect, but you have to know when is serious to the point where this man or this woman is crazy. They want to put their hands on me. You just got to know the signs and look for the signs and get out early. Don't keep taking a person back just because they say I'm sorry. Until the next time. They sorry until the next time that it happens. And then what? What you gonna do when it happens the next time? You just gonna keep forgiving this person and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse until you end up 6 feet under. Like, you have to know when enough is enough. And I say, let enough be enough in the beginning. Don't wait. Don't let them hit on you or talk crazy to you 5, 6 times before you decide to leave. Don't let it keep getting worse and worse. It could go from maybe a emotional thing to verbal to physical. And definitely once it gets to the physical, you better be out. You best to get out because you you have to want to live, especially if you got children in this world. Like, you should want to live for your children, your family, for yourself. Like, let God say when is your time. Don't allow another human being to play God. That's what I say. Don't allow another human being to play God, over your life. Like, leave if you can. If you're able to leave, leave. If you can't, find resources in your community. Reach out to somebody close to you and y'all figure it out. I don't know. I've never been in a situation where I was never able to leave. I was always able to leave. But I do know that there are resources, numbers you can call, shelters, different things like that. And yeah, just don't let it, because it's just crazy how people are taking people's lives because they don't want the other person to leave. They don't want them to leave them alone. How crazy does that sound? It's just like one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Okay, get you somebody else. Get you somebody that wants you, because obviously that person don't want you. And why would you want to force somebody to be with you that don't want you? I don't want nothing forced. I don't want nobody. If I got to be begging and fighting you and talking crazy, trying to threaten you to stay with me, I don't want you. Peace. You can go. You can go. Peace out. Because it's only gonna get worse. That person end up staying. Y'all still gonna have the arguments, the fights, because that person don't really want to be there in the first place. If somebody's trying to leave you, they don't want you. They're done. They're over it. Like, they don't have those same type of feelings for you. They probably don't even love you no more. So why would you want to be in that type of relationship where you force somebody to stay with you? Like, you got them scared of you because you don't you don't want them to go, and they only staying in a relationship because of fear. It's just crazy how people let the emotions get the best of them. It's so crazy. Like, I'm just scared that I just pray. I pray for the type of man I want, the type of person that I want to come into my life whenever that moment happens. Like, I don't I pray for what I want, and I'm specific when I pray for it. Like, you got to be God fearing, you got to be loving, you got to be um trustworthy. You have to. I need to know how you are with your mother, because that says a lot too. I want to see you around your mother, your family, to see how you interact, to see how you treat your mom, so they can kind of tell me whether or not I need to take it further with you or take a step back. Like, because if I see any signs in the beginning, I don't care if we start dating and it's been 6 months in and we just really, really just falling in love, and just the vibes are there, everything is good. And then you just all of a sudden flip and we start having these little petty arguments, and it gets bigger, or you say certain things that, like, could be a trigger, or um want to kind of start pushing on a person or pushing whatever. If I see those signs, I'm out of there. I'm not even gonna say because I'm 39 years old, so ain't no way I'm dealing or putting up with any of that of the dumb stuff. Like I ain't putting up with no arguing, fighting. You're gonna have some arguments, but it's a difference in the reactions of the person that you're with too. It's a big difference in having an argument because you left the toilet seat up or something like that. It just depends on the arguments and the reaction of the person when you argue. So I just think that people should really, really, really think long and hard the situation that they're in right now. If you're in a situation right now that any of the things I've been talking about so far, then you need to run. If you love your life, if you're not ready to either be in jail for having to off that person, or if you're not ready to leave this earth, I suggest you leave because I know someone that in a situation where they did off their partner, and that's just the craziest thing. Like how your freedom, I just can't stress that enough. Your freedom, you took a life, you took someone's life because they didn't want you, they wanted to leave the relationship. Like I just, that's just crazy to me. I really can't put that into words, but the domestic violence has to stop. And for you to, a person to be on live, like Facebook Live, and they actually did that, although in that particular situation, you couldn't actually see her doing it, but you can hear it. And hearing that for me was enough. Like, you almost feel like you was there. Like it was so dramatic, the screams, the children. Like you didn't think about before you even pulled your gun out, you didn't even think about, okay, got kids in the house, like you gotta live for your kids to let that man go. Like figure it out later. Like all that man was trying to do was leave. He wasn't trying to fight. He didn't want to argue. He just wanted to leave. And he kept saying it, kept saying it. And I just can't understand how she was that aggressive and that mad just because he didn't want to argue back. She couldn't get a reaction out of him. She was trying to get a reaction out of him. She couldn't. And I believe that kind of made her angrier because I know sometimes as women we get mad when the man, we can't get a certain reaction out of him. And it could be something small. It could be something like you want a certain thing to eat or something like that. And you don't get that reaction like, okay, babe, I'm finna jump up what you want to eat. But I understand to that extent of something small like that. But because a man don't want to argue back with you, he just trying to leave to go to work just to get out the situation, and you let yourself become that mad, that angry to pull out a gun, whether you wanted to scare them. Look what happened. In your head, she was saying it was, she didn't mean to. She didn't know that it was one in the chamber. Like, why did you have to even pull a gun out? That man wasn't attacking you. He wasn't being forceful with you. He was calm. He never raised his voice like that. He was even trying to get the mom, like, get your daughter. I'm trying to leave. He was on the phone with somebody. Like, and they were telling him to leave. All he wanted to do was leave. And she let herself become that angry to take this man's life, your husband's life, the person that you're supposed to love, cherish, honor. Like when they say to death do us part, hell, they don't mean no until I kill you, you kill me. No, like in sickness and health, like that type of till death do us part. Not I'm gonna play God and take you out. No, that's not the till death do us part that they were talking about. So I just can't I just can't understand it. I know, in the heat of the moment, for me, That's one of the reasons why I never, especially in my younger days, I never wanted to own a gun. Because true enough, I've had anger issues, and that goes for even when I'm in traffic, when I'm blowing at somebody because they driving too slow or something like that. I had, some anger issues, and I always said I never wanted a gun, even though I had lived alone and I had to, needed one to protect my home and my children in case, somebody broke in or whatever. But I just never wanted a gun. And sometimes you have to realize, like, the person that you are. Do I need a gun? I mean, you need a gun to protect your home, but at the same time, you got to think, like, because I knew I didn't need one. And I'm not to say that I would do that to somebody, but in a situation, I don't know, your temper, your adrenaline, I don't know, grip my head around it because I will be thinking about my freedom. You done killed this person. Now you in jail. So you have no freedom. What now? You done took the life of your partner, and you in jail. So what kind of life are you gonna have? What kind of life is your children gonna have now? Like, you don't think about that type of stuff. Like, I wouldn't ever. They say never, but I would. I'm at the point where I think logical, and logical for me is don't pull no gun out in no domestic situation only to protect your home or whatever. I would allow that person to leave, because if you don't want me, somebody do. If you don't want me, somebody else do. Like, I'm not gonna hold you in a situation, in a relationship that you don't want to be in. You don't want to be with me, that's fine. Why would I take your life because you don't want to be with me? Like, and why would you take my life if I didn't want to be with you? Like, I just don't understand how a person could get so upset. To me, it's like it's something that a person been want to do. If you go out here and taking people's lives or your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife life, I feel like it was something probably already premeditated, something you probably was already kind of sort of thinking about, and you finally acted on it. Because I just can't understand how a person can just pull out a gun in an argument. You're really the only one arguing, and the other person is calm, cool, collect, and it's just you. You arguing with yourself. You the only one looking like the fool, and you still got so mad because this person did not want to argue back and just wanted to leave, that you took his life in that instance, just like that. Now your life is over. Now all of a sudden you didn't mean to do it. You didn't know one was in the chamber. Why would you even want to pull the trigger on someone that you love so much? Don't love me to death. Please don't. Don't love me to death. I don't want nobody to ever have that much love for me. If the end result is going to be me losing my life, or either or the other way around, I don't want to ever feel like I can't be without a person and I gotta take their life because I don't want to see them with somebody else, or because they made me that upset. I don't ever want that feeling. I don't ever, Lord forbid, I don't ever want to feel like that. And I, Lord God forbid, I don't want nobody feeling that way about me. Let me go, because I'm definitely gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go your way, I go mine. If 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 it done got to the point where y'all fighting and stuff, you should be going separate ways anyway. If you're putting hands on each other, you should be going your separate ways anyway. I know, first time you even raise your hand at me, I'm out of there. I'm gone. Because it ain't worth it. Because if you raise your hand that time, the next time you gonna make it connect. And I'm gonna protect myself too. So who knows how this situation might play out. And I want my freedom, and I'm not ready to lose my life either. So I just say look for the signs, and um, look for the signs. Like, pay attention to the signs. You don't have to look for them because they're gonna be right in your face. And don't ever think that that person is all you can get, that's only person that wants you. Like, because sometimes, like I said, verbal abuse is just as worse as physical abuse, because sometimes they'll put you down so bad to where you think they have you thinking nobody wants you, you're ugly, you're fat. They just make your self-esteem so low that you'll think that this is all you can get. Don't ever think that, because it's somebody for, there's always somebody for you, So don't think that, what that person said, they just don't want nobody else to have you. It's their mental. It's their mental. It's a them problem, not a you problem. So you should just, like I said, try to get out if you can, talk to somebody, find resources in your community, find a number to call, and work out a safe exit plan if you can. Um, and love don't hurt. Love does not hurt. Love is supposed to feel good, happy, smiles, warm, all that good stuff. Love is not supposed to hurt at all. Love don't put their hands on you. Love don't call you out your name. Love don't make you feel like you're ugly or none of that. Love, it don't feel like that. Love is supposed to make you feel good on the inside. Yeah, I'm gonna talk more on this subject with domestic violence with a couple of guests, maybe a few guests, because they can tell their stories of how they had domestic situationships, and how they overcame them, how they got out of them. And for me, I'm gonna say this before I go. I eventually, like I said, it was just it eventually, I don't know, I think it just wore itself off. Like, the older I got, the more it happened, the more people was in my ear talking to me to leave. You don't deserve it, you better than that, you're beautiful. And so I say, get some people in your ear, in your corner, that's on that good shoulder, not the devil, but the good shoulder, that can tell you right from wrong. Don't have them friends and them families that be like, girl, it's all right, just stay with them, girl, you supposed to be ride or die, or whatever the case may be. Child, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And I think for me, eventually, um I got fed up. And this didn't happen like a everyday thing, like I was getting beat on, just beat on. Like, it'd be situations where may have found out he probably cheated or was with somebody else or didn't come home that night. We didn't live together, but it's just, you know, situations where, you might seen him riding I might have seen him riding in a car with another woman, and then, when they get home, you're gonna confront them, and then it turns into an argument. And then there were times when I was the aggressor and I put hands on because I was so mad, and like, why you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all this, I'm that, like, I'm not good enough for you. And so that did, make me mad, and I have been the aggressor um in my younger days, and it was crazy. But um yeah, I think eventually we just grew apart. And on my end, I think it was me that finally made the decision to say, I'm done, it's over, I'm done. And I eventually left, and I stuck to my word. And I just did other things, like I went out with family, friends more. We went out. I just stayed to myself more. I cut off men altogether. I went celibate for like a year or so. I just took steps to find myself and try to figure out what made me stay with a person that dogged me, that cheated, that was doing all these things, that fought me. Like, we fought each other. Like, what made me stay? Why? Why did I think that I wasn't worth more than somebody putting their hands on me or cheating on me or talking down on me, just making me, second guess my own self. So, I thought about that, and I don't know, I went celibate. I cut men off, and I found myself. I had to find myself and realize I am worth it. like not to settle for less. And if not settling for less, if I don't feel like I don't ever won't ever find a man again, y'all, I guess I won't be with a man. I guess I won't be with the man. I guess I won't get to experience marriage and all of that stuff. But hopefully I will. I pray on it, and I pray for. I'm like I said, I'm particular in my prayer when it comes to man, but I want love to find me. I'm not going out here looking for it. And whenever it comes to me, I got some standards. I got some high standards. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not unrealistic, but I do have standards. Not just anybody gonna come into my life. So that's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother show. But yeah, that's how I got out of it. I just outgrew them, and I found myself more, and I started loving me more and caring about me more, and eventually I left, and you know then I started opening up again to talking to men on the phone or texting, and I just worked my way up, worked my way up to start dating again. But it's just like these days, it's so crazy. People emotions are at an all-time high, and they just let their emotions get the best of them, and they just taking people lives. So I just, like I said, just pay attention to the signs and act on the signs. Don't just stay and thinking he won't do it again just because he tell you he won't hit you again. He's gonna hit you again. I can 9 times out of 10, he's gonna hit you again. So I wouldn't say stay to find out, because he shouldn't have put his hands on you the first time, or she shouldn't have put her hands on you the first time. Works both ways. So yeah, that's what I got to say on the domestic violence and what's going on in the world these days. Is just stay prayed up, look for the signs, and know your worth. And until next time, live, love, laugh. Peace.